Hello everyone. We are super anxious to get this Jeep on the road. But before we do that, there is a number of repairs that need to be done. Brakes, clutch, fluids, and we're gonna start working on those right now.
And later on in the video, we're going to show you how you can have your very own Jeep hat for free.
So come on along as we get this thing ready for the road, starting with that stubborn master cylinder cap.
Yeah, it's not working, babe. Oh, no, that was your ratchet, sorry. Whoa! Something happened.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you got it! Oh wow, the seal is coming off and everything. Whoa! All right, let's see what in the heck is in there.
You gotta show.
You did a great job. That took so much effort.
This is what I needed to get it out. Half-inch swivel, half-inch extension, another half-inch extension, another half-inch extension, half-inch to three-quarter extension, and the longest ratchet I've got. Yeah.
Yay! Okay, so let's see what's in there.
Yeah. Let's see what's in there.
There you go, guys. That is the best view I could get you. Isn't that crazy?
All right, I'm going to try to get this master out. The hardest part is where the pedal connects to it. I can't get good access to it, and the cotter pin is just rusted in place. So I'm going to hit it with some Cree-Oil to see if it'll loosen it up. I love how far this stuff sprays. I got right to it.
Because we lost the red plastic that goes to the extension, but it still works really good.
It does.
Yeah.
So it's December when we're working on this, and it's really way too cold, and it just reminds me that I need a different place to be doing this work because it's just not friendly.
Yeah, it's not, and if the camera is shaking, it's because I'm shivering. So.
Yeah. And we don't want that.
I don't want anyone, you or me, to shiver.
It's coming out.
Good. I can't wait to see it. That's going to be exciting. Honestly, words I never thought I would ever say, hold on, here's my face, is that it's exciting to see a master cylinder come out so I could look at how rusty and grimy it was. Oh well.
I got it.
Oh, you lost your hat.
Yeah, there it is. Cool. That's the hardest part.
Oh, I thought you meant you had the master cylinder in your hand.
No.
Yeah, you know that's a trick right there. You said I have it. I thought you meant you had the master cylinder.
If I could remove a master cylinder.
Oh my gosh, I have been fooled. I thought I had been fooled. Yes.
Okay, it's off. And that's a close-up of what the inside looks like. Not good. You can see right there the hole where the fluid's supposed to get into the cylinder area. I'm going to clean that up, clean all this up, but first I'm going to check, is the piston stuck in? Because the pedal does move, but it could be that the piston's just stuck in. That's why it's moving. So to check that, I have to take off this boot and look at the piston. So looking at a slightly different angle, see the piston in there? It's not supposed to be way down inside, like an inch down inside the board. It's supposed to be right up against the end. So that's bad. That means this master cylinder needs some major work.
Hey guys, so we have some great new What the Rust t-shirt designs, and you can view those and learn how to order them on our Facebook page, What the Rust. And for the first 100 people that order their t-shirt, we are going to send you a free Jeep hat. So you can show your support for Project J-Rex, our 66 CJ5 Jeep.
Hey, let me try that on.
that?
Very cool.
It looks nice.
Happy to say that the new master cylinder has arrived. Yay. And it looks exactly like the old one. It did not come with this on the end, and they often don't. This is the brake light switch and the connection to the brake system. But I got this one off, no problem. But one thing to keep in mind with these, they have crush washers on them. See that brass washer there? And you should replace those crush washers. This has two, one on each side of the fitting. And this one is a weird size. It's pretty wide. So it's always good to have a kit like this around. This is something I got off Amazon, and it's just a cheapo thrush washer kit. And even though it's a metric kit, it has exactly what I need. So that might have stopped me cold. If I didn't have it, I would have tried to reuse the old ones. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But now I'm all set to go. So next step is putting this in. You kind of need 3 hands under here to hold everything in, but we'll see if we can do it with 2. All right, looks like I got 1 in. That's the hardest part, because that'll hold everything up while I put the other bolt in. The simplicity of Jeeps is wonderful.
It is very cold out here today, and Richard went in and got the EcoFlow and hooked up a space heater to it, and it's made a big difference. I'm really glad that we have that.
Hit me right here.
Oh, I can see a mark. It's a pretty big mark.
I don't doubt it. It fell right on my face.
Richard.
All right, I got both bolts in the master cylinder. One is started in the frame, but that was the big challenge. The bolts are long, so to get them up and in there in the frame without the transmission being in the way is a little tricky.
Plus your fingers are very cold.
Yeah, it doesn't help that it's cold out, but progress must be made. All right, it's in. I just got to hook the brake pedal up, and this job will be done. All right, it's in. Let's get some fluid in it.
How does the brake line look?
The brake line is, it's not old, but it's bent really strange, and it's not the best fit in there.
That mark on under your eye,
Yeah.
it's getting darker.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a bruise.
Yeah.
So I noticed the clutch is moving with the brake again.
Yeah.
What happened?
I gotta see what's going on under there. I'm under here trying to figure out why the clutch isn't working. And here's the rod that connects to the pedal. And look at that, it's not connected. This rod here, right there, goes to the actual clutch itself, the clutch assembly. And it pivots on this shaft. When you push the clutch pedal in, because this is disconnected, this shaft doesn't move. So I'm going to take this piece out, clean it up, and see if we can get this shaft to move. Look at this. This is some old sign.
What?
Yeah, see that?
I do.
That's some kind of old sign.
I wonder what that is.
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know.
So, do you think they just did the body filler to hold the sign in place?
The body filler was part of the sign repair. Yep. We got to see what this sign is. Maybe it's like...
Is it a postal sign?
I don't really know what that is.
Wow.
But we're going to find out.
Huh.
Stay tuned
I wonder what that is then.
for another exciting episode of Name That Sign.
I'm looking at the wiring here. Looks pretty top-notch to me.
Just some needle or something.
Yeah, unfortunately you're laying on it. You're laying on the pliers, the cotter pins. It's higher up in your back, and the washers. Yeah, that's all underneath you. You probably just need to get up.
I gotta get this bolt out first, which doesn't hold the shaft in, but it's got some kind of tab to keep the shaft bolts from coming out.
Does that fit?
Wrong size.
Darn it. And you didn't bring any more?
No.
Oh, are you serious?
Let's see how this works.
What happened?
It broke it,
I was,
which is good.
I was afraid of that. Did you know we probably just need to replace that?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
fine.
good with breaking it.
Yeah, I mean it
It
wasn't gonna just come right out and say, oh yeah, reuse me.
These aren't hard to find bolts.
Yeah.
Got it.
It came out. Wow. It's a Christmas miracle. 2 Christmas miracles in one day. And it didn't even break.
It did not break.
Nice. Look at that. Wow. How rusty is that?
They're not bad. They're bad, but
yeah, it's pretty bad.
yeah. See that? But it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. But they came out and they didn't break. So
2
1
out of 3.
broke.
Wow. All right, look at that. Clutch is working. Good job, babe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's how you were gonna show me the clutch works. Oh Lord.
It's working. I can
Did you do that because we were watching that movie last night?
No, actually. I do it anyway.
The racing movie? Oh my goodness.
All right. Clutch is working. Might not be adjusted, but it's working. So here is the problem with the clutch. See that shaft right there? That shaft, this end of it goes to the clutch pedal, and that end of it, that rod right there, goes to the clutch. So this was frozen solid. It connects with a ball connection to the transmission and to the frame, and it was frozen solid. So when you press the clutch, you would just bend this rod that connected to the pedal. That's probably why it was disconnected. Someone probably was bending it and they just disconnected it. And the owner must have thought it needed a clutch because of that, but it doesn't. The clutch is probably fine. What's wrong was this thing, because it was not pivoting. See if I can pivot it by hand. Yeah, see? That's how it's supposed to work. And right there is the connection that goes to the clutch. We need to adjust that clearly a little bit. There's a little too much free play in it, but there's supposed to be some. And that's all it was. So, took it apart, lubed it up. It's beautiful. Let's see if it fires. The only concern is that starter. We just don't know how well that's going to work.
Well, it sounds like it did before.
The fuel pump, yeah.
Huh, what is that? You think it's
Starter. This may foil us. I'm gonna try some starting fluid because we gotta get a quick kick. We are getting spark, right? Let's get the spark checker. I'm not convinced of getting spark.
Yeah. We didn't have to have that key turn last time, right?
You know, that wouldn't hurt, but no. All right, we're actually trying the key. For some reason, my jumper wire is not working, so we're going to try the key. See if that works. Ready?
Yeah, it sounds like it did before.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
Give it a minute to warm up, then we're going to try the clutch.
So he's going to see if the clutch works. And I'm going to watch the back wheels and see if one or both turn. All right, I'm ready. Nothing. Nothing. The sun is just in a bad spot. I'm trying to get it to where you guys can see too, but do you think it could be in neutral? Okay. I don't know. Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of work for him. Yeah, I'll do it. There you go. Yeah, they're both going well. Yep.
It all works.
Does it?
Check it out.
Okay, go ahead. I think I can see it. Hold on. Oh yeah, I see it moving. Like 10. That's funny. Nice.
Nice.
You know what's weird is most of the time those do not work. So that's amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yay! Woohoo! So it was in 4-wheel drive. Is that what you said?
To start with, it was in neutral. The transfer case was in neutral, and then I put it into 4 low, and then I put it into 2 high or 2 low. I'm not sure which.
And then that's when it moved.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot. You were getting so irritated. I could see it on your face.
The twin stick. I installed a twin stick in a Jeep I had, but I forget exactly how they work. But it looks like I figured it out enough to try it.
Oh, good.
Nice. Nice. Next up is the brakes.
Yeah. Woohoo! And then next up, I have to fix up this body for you. And not mine, the car.
Very strange. Why this is left-hand thread, I don't know. Okay. So terrible quality brake hose, obviously that's got to go. And I've got to try to break it free without snapping this line. This line is in bad shape, which will require heat. So this line here has to come off in order to get the hose out. And I'm going to heat it to get it off, which is a given. But never heat this area next to a hose with the hose connected. If there's any fluid in the hose, it will expand and the hose will explode. And it's loud when that happens. So just don't do that. I've cut this hose, and as you can see, it's completely plugged there. It's completely plugged with rust. So I've got a new hose. I'm not worried about that, but this has to get heated up to come out.
Is it smoking you out?
Yeah.
So that's because that
That's
bit of the
brake
hose.
fluid.
Oh, it's brake fluid.
Yeah, there's some brake fluid in the line.
Wow.
And it's burning. Don't breathe that.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't either.
Phew. But I think I got it loose. Let me try it from the front where there's no smoke. But I think it's loose.
Are you trying to hurry up before it cools down?
Yep. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's loose.
Good.
Woohoo! Beauty. Okay. Well, as luck would have it, the line broke anyway. Well, that's fine because obviously it needed to be replaced. If it was that weak, it needed to go. Let's grab the new line and see if it matches.
Okay.
Look at that.
Are you talking about my hair?
These these pliers rule. Pull that right out. There's the broken off line, unfortunately. All right, let's press the brakes and see if any fluid comes out. We're going to see if the master cylinder is pumping. We're looking at that line right there. So go ahead, Christina, hit the brake. Oh, hold it. Yep, it's working. It's not coming off the junction block either. So I'm going to have to heat that as well.
Is it giving you grief? Oh. That's it? That tiny little thing?
Yeah.
That's the
That's
whole...
the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
No. So we've got to make a new line. So the way they do that is you get your brake line and just figure out approximately the length that you want. I'm not going to bend it yet because once you bend it, you can't get your fittings on. But approximate length is going to be to about here. So I'm just going to cut this with a tubing cutter. The tubing cutter is just a blade inside a couple of rollers. And you make sure that the tube is between the rollers, not all the way in. It's between the rollers. Lightly tighten it and twist. Lightly tighten it and twist. And you're going to have to do this a few times. Done. Line is cut. And you stick a little screwdriver in here to get rid of the chamfered edge, and you're ready for the next step. So all this does is it centers it. Make sure that this is the right depth. So now we know that this is the right length in here. Now we got to start the flaring process. So we've got it lined up for 3/16, and we just move the handle all the way. That gets the first half of the flare done. Then we go to 3/16 again, this time OP2. That is, this tool's getting old, it's hard to read. And the second one will complete the flare. loosen it up. There's your flare. Perfect.
Yeah, very nice.
Perfect. Yep. Okay, now we got to do the other side. We're ready to flare the other side. What do we need to do before we flare the other side? Put the fittings on. Because once it's flared, it won't go on. I've done this a bunch of times. Anybody that's worked with lines has probably done it too.
You mean forgot to put the fittings on?
Yep.
I'm sure they were mad at themselves.
Yep. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Done. I'm putting the line in, the new line into the junction blocks. That's step one. Yeah, that's good. The hose comes through here and connects. And then we slide the clip in to hold it all together.
Interesting. I got it.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's grab the clip. So in order to get the drums off on these Jeeps, the whole hub assembly has to come apart. So this is the teeth inside. You turn this knob and these teeth engage with these teeth to couple the axle with the wheel. And that's called a manual hub to put it into four-wheel drive. And that's very nicely greased. Very happy to see that. So these hubs are maintained well. All right, this is a, I think this is called a C-clip here. And you need a special tool to get it out. And I happen to have one that's homemade. But I can't take credit for making it. Somebody took some odd pliers and welded stuff to it to make one. It's not quite right for this application because this is such a large C-clip, but I'll make it work. Okay, so this pops off.
Should it drip like that?
Yeah, that's, let me get something to catch that. That's axle fluid coming out of the rear, the front diff. So in order to get this hub off, I had to pick up a specialized tool. This is an 1.5 inch thin wall socket that is supposedly going to fit this nut. So let's see. It does. Doesn't seem to go on very straight, but it does fit. This is going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky because it doesn't fit that straight. But I'm going to give it a try and get back to you. And it worked. And that's coming right off. Now I still might need a puller to get this hub off. I'll find out in a second. Hopefully I don't, because I don't have one at the moment. The pullers I usually use connect around the back of the drum. You can't do that on this Jeep. So let's see how this goes. So behind the nut was that washer, and then another nut. This one is not tight, so I suspect this one probably does like preload on the bearings. We'll find out when I get it out. And that's exactly what that second nut was doing. There was a large washer behind it which rode up against this bearing. So this is the outer wheel bearing for the hub, and it's not supposed to be super tight. So that second nut was just putting some preload on the bearing itself. So I'm not seeing any damage to these bearings, which is good. So I don't feel like buying new ones. And that's how it all looks stacked up from the hub back. I like to stack it up so I can put it in exactly the same way it came out. And these tins here for cupcakes are perfect to hold all the different parts and pieces for a job like this. It's amazing. I got the drum off with the hub without a puller. Amazing. Didn't expect that would happen. So I'm going to inspect everything here and get right back to you. For the most part, things are okay, but here's the reason I'm in here to begin with. See that? This wheel cylinder's had it. Just had it. It's completely stuck. That powder is just water and brake fluid crystallizing. So that's why I'm in here. Not in here for a waste of time, obviously. So this has to come out next. Look at how simple these brakes are. Super simple. They look a lot like brakes called Huck brakes that were on late 40s, early 50s Chevys. They're definitely not Bendix. I can tell you that looking at them. Did I say it's cold out here? Because it is. So here we've got the new one. And I'm so thankful that it is the same. If you look at both of these side by side, they're the same. I was really worried because there were multiple part numbers for these, but it looks like I guessed right. So I'm going to clean this up first and then put this all back together. I'm just going to use brake clean everywhere that I can. This is pretty dirty here. It almost seems to me like some grease was getting in here past the grease seal. So I'll check that as well. But I'll clean all this up and get back to you. Earlier you might recall that the big socket wouldn't fit on this nut, and it's because someone had hammered this nut and put a little notch in it. So I just ground that down quick. This should pop right back on now. And it's done. It's back together. Next step is the passenger side. Hopefully it'll be as easy. This is one of the wonders of owning a Jeep. So onto the passenger side, the hub is completely different. Look at this locking hub. It's ancient and it's completely different than the driver's side. The drum is also different. What I think happened on this Jeep is the hub on the driver's side must have gone bad. Someone replaced it with a passenger side hub from a different Jeep, and that's why the lug nuts are backwards. It's all starting to fit in now as to what makes sense. But just like the other side, this brake hose is completely shot, so it's got to go. And of course the brake cylinder is going to be bad as well. I already know that. So all this has to come out. So this hub came off in two pieces. Here's one, here's the other. And just like the driver's side, it's got a little C-clip in there holding it that I need to take out next. This side came off so easily, but it's not in very good shape. Let's check this. Oh yeah, same thing as the other side, only worse. Worse. And look at this. That's the brake lining material. Came right off the drum. Came right off the shoe when I pulled the drum off. That's unfortunate because I don't have any shoes for this, so I'm gonna have to do a quick look up, see if any are around, or order some, because this will start me cold without shoes. But I'm gonna go ahead and change the brake cylinder anyway. I could not get one of the bolts threaded in here to the wheel cylinder on the passenger side, and here's why. I don't know if you can see that, but the old one that I took out is completely crossed. Someone started to cross thread it and just torqued it in. This is junk. So what did I do? This is a pretty odd bolt. It's very small. What did I do about it? I found out that on a battery terminal, that bolt is the exact same thread. It's too long, but it's the same thread. So what I did was I pulled it out, put it on a bench grinder to grind it down, put a nut on it all the way back to here, put it on a bench grinder to grind it down, and then backed the nut off to fix the threads as the nut came off the bolt. And that worked like a charm. It's in now and it's in super tight.
Headed out into the windstorm to work on the Jeep. finishing up?
Not yet.
It's crazy windy out here.
Yeah, it is. Crazy windy is a great word. Alright, putting the new brake shoes in. Trying to go quickly because it's windy like you can't believe. Hopefully it's the sound is okay on camera. We had a windstorm blow through here last night and I lost yet another tree, which is pretty common around here lately, it seems.
Okay, it started to rain. We had to come in the garage, so we'll pick back up shortly.
Well, I just got a phone call right as it started to rain, so that was fortuitous, because when the phone call ended, it stopped and it's blue sky. And it's a crazy day. So I've got one more spring to connect, and these are always fun because they require superhuman strength to get in, which, if you haven't noticed, I don't have. Okay, that's in. Love these simple brakes. No adjusters, no nothing. 2 springs, 2 pads, done.
So Richard brought up something I found interesting, and he told me that all that rust happened overnight. And I remember seeing that you had replaced that yesterday.
Yep.
So when you say that rust is very fast, that's a good example.
Yeah, and I had this covered.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
know,
still rusted like that.
I think Ben Franklin was wrong. Death, taxes, and rust. 3 things in life you can be sure of.
We should put that on our Facebook page. Just putting a little sealer on the locking hub. You know, here's a tip with this stuff. These tubes often dry out. Store them in a refrigerator, not a freezer, a refrigerator. They'll last much, much longer. This tube is over a year old, and I've been using it back and forth, and it's still not hard.
It's really hard to get away from this storm. Just storms for 15 minutes, clears for 5 minutes, comes back for 15 minutes. Dedication. You were chasing the yoga mat down the driveway. It flew down there. Oh, babe. You're so dedicated. You're so good. I love you so much.
I wouldn't mind if it wasn't so cold.
I know. That when the wind blows and it just makes it, what, you think 10, 15 degrees colder?
Well, when you're wet, sir.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
But it's done. As one might imagine, the transfer case was dry. So to fill it, it's this plug right here. Just take that plug out and fill it up with gear oil. And what you do to make it easier is just put a hose on the gear oil container and stick the hose in here and just squeeze the container to get it in. Now on to the transmission. I'm almost positive this transmission is going to be dry. I could hear it when I was putting it into gear to test the clutch. Okay, trans is now done. So all the fluids have been checked and we're good. I was suspicious that the thermostat was stuck because the block would get warm, the radiator just wouldn't, this top hose just wouldn't, and sure enough, look at that. The engine's warm right now and that thermostat is completely closed. And there's all kinds of junk around it. So that thermostat has had it and it's coming out next. I'm glad I checked that. Last thing I want to do is overheat this engine. Now the thermostat housing is all buttoned up nice. And I've got it full of coolant and it's holding, no leaks. So that's done.
Richard.
Hey.
What are you doing?
Getting ready for the inaugural drive. Checking the float, make sure it's not stuck.
Okay.
Doesn't appear to be. don't like these Amazon carburetors.
Was the idle turned up pretty high?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
It
I had
was?
the idle quite high. Quite high.
Hmm.
But there's gas being pulled out of the accelerator pump circuit. And there shouldn't be. That should only be used when you're pressing the gas. And I can see it getting pulled out. So I'm thinking of disconnecting it altogether. Because it looks to me like it's being held open. So I'm going to try that. This thing didn't work, so I'll have to check that later. Well, we've got two problems here. This carb is messed up. What I did was I hooked up this tank so that the fuel pump wasn't even connected, because I was worried the fuel pump was overpowering the needle and seat. It's not. It ran just as terrible. And all this turning over is just hurting the flywheel teeth, because this starter that I just pulled out clearly has problems. Look at the end of the teeth on the starter. They're junk.
So you're going to spin the flywheel?
Yeah, I'm going to spin the flywheel over to see if there's any missing teeth.
You're going to mark it? Did you get some chalk?
Yeah, I got some chalk on it, and I'm just going to see if there's any missing teeth.
Okay.
And hopefully there won't be, because if there is, it's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I'm not seeing any huge damage here. There is somewhere on these teeth from the starter, but nothing huge. So I'm going to check that and get back to you. So there's the flywheel teeth. These are the worst ones, and they're really not bad. Just the very, very edge is a little bit worn. And that is exactly where the starter stops. When it starts to grind, it stops there. So what does that tell me? It's an easy diagnosis. It tells me that this starter is not engaging the length of the tooth. It's only grabbing the very edge of the teeth on the flywheel. And you can see that's as far out as it goes. See that gap right here? That's not supposed to be here. That's a huge gap. And well, this whole shaft is sliding. So we got some problems with the starter. I'm going to have to minimally change the starter drive. So that's going to pretty much put the kibosh on today as far as we can do. We've taken it as far as we can. I still need to mess with that starter, but this has to come first. All right, so thank you for watching. Lots of repairs done on the Jeep. Not quite road ready yet.
No, not yet. But I just want to remind you, don't forget to make sure that you order one of your What the Rust t-shirts, because until the Jeep hats are gone, you get a free Jeep hat with every What the Rust t-shirt you order. Well, until we run out. So thanks for watching. We appreciate it. And until next time, Richard,
we'll be chatting with you in the comments.
Have a great week, everyone. Bye.